We're going to skip the intro this morning because I've been having audio issues. And why does OBS get crufty so easily when you don't use it? Actually, it gets crufty when you use it too. So, can you guys hear me? Is the question. And I'll just sit here and think, yes, you can hear me. Thank you, Trina. So, and One Bit Fever Dreams, thank you. And Dave, you're all my favorites. So, let's see if some of the special effects still work.
Oh, where is the beef?
So, Marchintosh, it came in like a lion and it's going out like a panther. I don't know. How do you do that? You may have noticed the quality of video has improved slightly. I'm retiring the Logitech webcam. That's a piece of crap apparently. And using my bench cam, which is an iPhone, as my main camera, which, you know, why not? So you can see all of the gray hair. It doesn't look like a cartoon comic book video feed anymore. So I'm not sure if that's good or not. Anyway, so I was asked last night on old WTF whether I was going to stream this morning or not, Trina. And I said, oh yeah, I'm going to stream. I have nothing prepared, really. I've got a bunch of a backlog of stuff because for the last couple of months I've been heads down, basically working on Adventure, trying to get it out the door. Not the box set, not the final version, just the demo version so that people can play it and I can have it bug tested and, you know, things like that. So, anyway, so I did. And it's got bugs in it, of course. Some I immediately found after I released it, which is normal. And I spent a lot of time rewriting the demonstration version. Oh, okay. Trina's gonna stream at 10:30. Great. Thanks for bookending me so that I don't have to keep going. 10:30 is more than enough time for me to live stream. So anyway, so I've got I did get a demo version out there. It's okay, I think. I rewrote. It was going to be just a simple tutorial, and the dialogue inside the game was going to walk you through the tutorial, and I thought, nah, I'm going to do a little mini story that's kind of set in the same universe. And so that's where I came up with the Tavern. And the idea behind that is it's many years into the game, and the main protagonist has become sort of a martial arts expert, ninja, ranger person or something like that. And the premise of the main game is that somebody has been in suspended animation for a period of time. They don't know how long. They wake up from this suspended animation and find themselves in the future, and it's dystopian, and magic works, and old technology, people are trying to use it and stuff like that. And this scientist who was in stasis for this period of time is now trying to figure out how to survive. So the Tavern is something from the future when the scientist is now fully integrated into the environment and is still trying to make their way to sanctuary or whatever. To let's think Logan's Run, right? So I borrow a lot of inspiration, and I'm sure a lot of people do this anyway, but I borrow a lot of inspiration from science fiction I've been reading since I was in elementary school, old movies that I've seen. Yeah, Trina, go ahead and put a link. Oh, you did put a link up. Great. I borrow inspiration from Homestar Runner is in the game, actually. Not that character, but things from it. Old adventure games and things like that. I never did a lot of gaming when I was growing up, and as an adult, I didn't really spend a lot of time gaming, but one of the games that I liked on Unix was Adventure, or Colossal Cave is what it was called. I never played it very well. I don't think I ever finished it. I didn't have a lot of time. I was married all the way through college, and you would think that having somebody that you live with that's working full time, so they're the major source of income for you. Even though I worked 30 hours plus a week anyway while I was in school, you would think that somebody that you're living with and that you're a partner with and stuff would actually save you time. No, you invest a lot of time in that relationship. So being single and a student and living in the dorms where people feed you, and you've got your housing and all that taken care of for you and all that, saves a lot of time. And you make strategic relationships while you're in college with people, and being in the dorms and working in the labs and all that kind of stuff. You make those relationships, and it's mutual aid for whatever you're studying. When you're a married student, you don't get any of that. I lived in married housing, and which was mostly foreign students, frankly. And that was interesting too. I mean, best kimchi I ever had was from my next door neighbor. But it doesn't lend itself to study. And man, where was I going with this? Anyway, long story short, it's difficult. So I didn't do a lot of gaming. And this was also a period of time where computers were expensive. Yes, they were expensive now too, but they weren't ubiquitous. Having a personal computer at the time, I did have a TI 994A, but I never could afford to buy any cartridges or games for it or anything, so I didn't. I didn't have my own personal computer, modern personal computer, I'd say, until about 5 years after I started working, after I graduated from college. So there was a lot of gaming and stuff I just didn't experience. Picked up a little bit later in life. Warcraft Tides of Darkness was something I played a lot. I had some of the Command and Conquer stuff. Things like that, but I didn't really spend a lot of time on it. So let's see who's in the chat. So I'm going to scroll up to the top here, and we have Trina, and she was first. And Dave, you got beat out by Trina. That's an unusual event. So, good morning. One Bit Fever Dreams is third. Not that we're keeping track. Okay. Conversation. Garth. Hey, Garth, so early. Yes. Yeah, make sure I go live. Yeah, a little bit of trouble with audio as usual. Garth, Dave, Trina, you guys are chatty. Yeah, that's it. That's who we got. We got the morning crew. So, hope you have coffee. Hope you have good coffee. Oh, Mr. Big Bad Biologist. Big Bad Bench is here too. You mostly gamed in college. Yeah, and it's one of the reasons why I'm going to show what's in the box. So I picked this up. Well, let's get the right one. So this was at auction on a local auction place that I frequent for. Sometimes they have vintage computer stuff. The last Plus I got was from them, and it's Space Quest, and this is the Tandy IBM version, so it's DOS compatible, and Volume 2 or Chapter 2 of the same game. So yeah, we were not rich. My parents farmed. And my dad also, it was more of a gentleman farmer kind of thing. He also worked part suppliers and stuff like that for the auto industry. So there were times he got laid off. But anyway, these, I've kind of gotten an interest in boxed games now because of, working on adventure. And, these are kind of neat. And it includes all the marketing material that was in the box. So I'll open one of them up here. So whoever had this game, obviously they played it. It's got wear on the box and stuff, but it's in pretty decent shape. So you've got your, sorry, I have new camera position, so I have to think about it. Nice box. And this is the style of box I would like to do for adventure. It's a, what do they call it? It's a particular style box, but it's fairly easy to print out. I do a smaller version of it. It's a telescoping box, I guess, because it telescopes up. I do something probably about half this size, so I could print the art on a label and wrap it around the box, or heavy paper and glue it. Let's see. There's not too many people who started as early on Mac Plus gaming, then moved to MS-DOS. Macs were too expensive. Yeah. My parents, I had a computer before my father did. My mother was absolutely not interested in computers, still isn't. And in fact, she values face-to-face communication with people. She does not like going online or doing any of that. She doesn't even like my sister helping her do that. So I'm really concerned about the Social Security situation with her and stuff. If she ever needed to contact that office, she would be the type of person that would go drive to an office and then wait for 3 hours at the office to talk to somebody. She doesn't even like using the phone. So, because she values that face-to-face interaction with people. It also makes it easier to threaten to punch them, I guess. I don't know. See, started Apple II, went to PC, MS-DOS. Yeah, see, I was a Windows Stack developer when I got out of college, so everything was in that. SQ1 and SQ2 are very desirable. Yeah, I got them for, I think it was about $30 each. So, I see that they're sold online for 100, maybe 150. But anyway, getting back to the box. So apparently they came with a hint book, and I'm not sure, it must have been a pack of hint books because this box is kind of big. Sorry, let me set this down. So the sleeve for it is rather large, but there's only one hint book in here, so I don't know if there were supposed to be multiple hint books, because that's kind of, big. Hey, morning, Billgoats. Yeah, we're in daylight savings time now. I know the Europe and the rest of the world isn't. So, and it comes with a catalog. So you've got your, and this is in really nice shape. Someone probably looked at it and then put it back in the box and forgot about it. It comes with 2 discs, so you've got your 5 1/4 and 3 1/2 inch discs. Sorry, the desk is a bit of a mess. And then these valuable coupons, 20% off. Good for 5. And you've got your risk-free examination certificate. Popular tab books on... Oh, yeah, remember tab books? And then you've got your game manual. Which is, you know, it's a pretty simple manual. There's not much. It's just a stapled, folded over paper. I had considered doing this style of a manual, but as soon as I got past got past 30 pages, I knew that wasn't going to work very well. I don't like staples either. Please retain this card. So it's the warranty registration. And then there's a reference card for DOS. So you've got your movement controls and all that. So all this was still in the box, which is in really nice shape. It's not messed up at all. And the other one's similar. It doesn't have quite as much stuff in it, but it's similar to this. So anyway, so I look forward to trying those out, see if they work. So, One Bit Fever Dreams. So the third one is the ridiculous one for box contents, though. It has a cardboard alien mask, glasses, a fake magazine, and fake space ads. Oh, you mentioned you have 3 and 4, right? So it's got all of the silly things in the box contents on the one that you've got. That's awesome. Yeah, I picked up some other stuff too recently, but you know, that's for next month, really. What else did I? Oh, I also this is the game manual for Adventure, and I bought a spiral binding kit because one of the things that's important to me is that your manuals lie flat so that you can flip through them and open them up while you're using them. You don't want to have to deal with you know, a binding crease or something like that, and this is an inexpensive way to do it. And I've got, you know, artwork in it, and it is rather plain. It's not a fancy schmancy manual, but I did want to sprinkle a little bit of, you know, characters in it and things like that. I will admit that I started down the AI image generation pathway, because I wanted to do some comic book style kind of characters and stuff like that. And I had a conversation with my daughter, who was going to go into graphic design, and said, you know, the AI stuff works pretty well for what I want. And I do have, I'm really conflicted about using AI because, yes, legally they're using fair use to get at copyrighted material and stuff, and I think technically from the definition of fair use, legally they will be able to get away with it, but using a phrase like get away with it really does tell you how I feel about it. I think it's an abuse of fair use. Fair use was not meant that way. And I do like the fact that they're not going to allow you to copyright AI generated But like anything else, if you modify it yourself, you can then claim copyright if you make substantial modifications to it. So I made the decision to not use any AI generated anything in this. So it's got a lot of artwork that I pulled from classic photographs, or if there was a public domain image somewhere, like classic paintings, things like that that are out of copyright, and then just use some filtering on it. So this is a good example. So I did the cartoon filter in GIMP to the images. So this was a photograph, and that way it's more in the style of what I was going for. So none of it's AI generated. It took more work and effort, but I think it's important. Yes, so it means business. Now, I don't have the manual for the game editor yet. That's something that'll be in the box. And the full game will be in the box. And my plan right now is that you can go get the game and the draft game manual. It is wrapped in a custom mini VMAC that, thank you, Eric Helgeson, and I always remember his handle. It's Bri, the guy who did Blah Blob, the game. Also had some modifications he did to Mini VMAC, which that's a whole nother episode on how to configure that. But anyway, they wrapped it in Docker, Eric did, and made it really easy to rebuild. So I've got a version of Mini VMAC that will look for a boot.hda file in the same subdirectory, automatically mount that, and then inside there I've got it so it'll start up the game right away. That way you don't have to do anything. And it's available for both Linux and Windows. OS X, I don't have a modern OS X machine, so I'd have to have Xcode, blah blah blah, to be able to build a custom version of Mini VMAC. So and packaging that is also different. And it wouldn't be signed, and yada yada yada. It's going to be a pain to do an OS X version, so I'm just not going to do it. So you got Windows and Linux. You can also run it natively. If you've got a Power PC level of machine, you can run it natively. Because running it in a 68K, you're going to be, I think I joked and said the heat death of the universe is going to occur before you finish the game. So it's really slow. Anyway, so you can, on the socials and on Discord, I posted a link to the Google Doc share so that you can download it. And if you're participating in Global Talk, there is a version of it up there that you can download. It takes like an hour or more to download because it's rather big. I think it's 30K or 30 meg for the game. Yeah, 30 megabytes for the game, so it does take a bit to download it. So your best bet, actually, frankly, is to get the Windows or Linux version and run that. Anyway, so the plan is, that's the demo. So it's the Tavern. I'm going to walk through it today. The box set is going to be for VCF Midwest in September. So I'll have a table. They haven't done table distributions yet, so, or even requests, so I'm not sure when that's going to happen. Excuse me. But I intend to get a table. If not, I'll walk around with a cart and sell it out of a cart. So I'll have boxed versions available for sale. I haven't figured out a price yet because I haven't figured out what it's going to cost to actually make the box. Then I'll have the box available for sale online. And I will eventually make a complete version of the game available just for download, and that'll be for free, or maybe a token amount or something like that. Um, oh yeah, if you want to support the project, so here's the deal: if you if you go to Coffee and throw me $1. You don't have to subscribe. You don't have to do the monthly thing. You could just send me $1. There is a goal on oh, and it's on the screen here, right here. So you go to my Coffee, um, make a contribution. You get listed in the credits of the game, both the game and the manual. And so even for a single sawbuck, a whole dollar bill, dollar US, not dollar Canadian, you too can be immortalized as a contributor in the game. Um, you sent more than $1? Oh, you only get one mention. Sorry, Steve. Um, yeah, 4,000 Canadian. um, as long as it adds up to at least $1, I don't care. And there have been some major contributors towards it. I was able to buy a laser printer so that I can print the manual, and the binding cutting thing. That was I got a big contribution from several people that helped me to buy that. The next thing up to purchase is boxes and things like that. If you can't afford an American dollar, I will take 100 pennies. Of course, they have to be U.S. pennies. Canadians don't have pennies. You could give me 2 bits. Wait a minute. Is that 50 cents? No, 2 bits is $1, isn't it? I don't remember. Anyway, whatever adds up to $1. You can also contribute by suggesting characters. For example, Garth has provided me with, and you can turn audio off, just so you know. So it's not a disincentive. He sent me his assets for Squawkers. So Squawkers will appear in the game. Kate, Macintosh librarian, she was nice enough to allow me to add Mackie. So Mackie appears, makes a cameo in the game. You have some Canadian pennies from the distant past. Melt them down into copper and trade them for a loonie. And send me, what, 1.26 loonies? I don't know. What's the exchange rate? Anyway, but any contribution will get you listed. I will bribe you to have a bunny in the game. Steve, there's already a bunny in the game. If you want the bunny to say or do anything in particular, let me know. But I'll share with you what the bunny does so that you can either accept that or do more. Oh, thank you for the contribution. Yay! So, and the goal is arbitrary, so don't let the 66% get you. It's whatever I can get. I'll make up the difference in supplies and stuff and do it. It puts a dollar bills in a floppy drive. Here you go. Yes, the floppy drive I'll accept, but not in lieu of payment. So. So let's get on to looking at the game. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to move things around on my desktop here. And we're going to download the Mini VMAC version so I can walk through that. Why is my tablet off? Ah, man, why can't you... You know, the old Android tablets, you can't tell it not to do a screensaver. I mean, it turns itself off. It's plugged into power. Why does it care? So, so should we run it on? Yeah, let's run the Windows. So let's switch the desktop. Oh, you can also contribute by buying T-shirts and things like that at my Threadless store if you want to. The latest thing that I added up there was a full snack developer. That's a Dagwood stack sandwich. So anyway, little tongue-in-cheek there. So let's go to... Nope, I do not want that browser. Let's go up to... sorry, I gotta find the link. Nope. Bit bang. Can't type today. Oh, yeah, you may have noticed. I'm wearing hand braces now because my arthritis has gotten to the point where it really is getting in the way of doing things. And I went through some occupational therapy, and they recommended these hand braces. My God, piece of plastic and some Velcro straps, $100 each. Ridiculous. Anyway, but they're good braces, and they do help. Snack developers are best full. That's a good one. Yeah, I'm hungry too. All I've had is coffee this morning. Anyway, so I had a post. Let's see if I can find it. That's got a link. Not that link. Oh yeah, this is an upcoming event. If you are in the southeastern Michigan area, there's a swap meet for a local computer club. And Joe is going to be there and making, I think they're going to run a thing with kits to build your own Blue Scuzzy, or he'll be selling them or something like that, or both. So, okay, here's the link. There is a problem with the preview. I don't care. Just download it. Cannot scan. I don't care. Download it anyway. I promise there's no virus. So it includes a PDF of the game survival guide. There's the boot HDA I was talking about, the Mac 2 ROM, and Mini VBAC, and it's modified so that it goes full tilt. So, and then there's a helpful README file. That tells you how to extract it and get running, and then a couple of warnings. This is rated, it's self-rated as teen. So if you've got it, and there have been some kids that have wanted to play this, if you've got a wee child, there are graphic descriptions of violence and things. It's a hack and slash, so be aware. You might want to, poke around. The dialogue doesn't really do F-bombs or anything like that, so it's not that kind of language. But it is violent, and people die, things like that. So you want to make sure that before you let your little kids play with it, if you're going to do that. And I believe, I think I say this in here somewhere, I will make a rainbow unicorn pony version of it where Charlie the unicorn loses his spleen in a candy mountain or something like that. So if you guys want a tongue-in-cheek version that's based on Charlie the Unicorn or something, I'm all game. I'll do it. I only steal the best material. So anyway, so here's the game. So we're gonna just take all this and copy it and throw it in a drive somewhere. Let's put it in my videos subdirectory with a whole bunch of crap in it. I got a lot of crap in this subdirectory. Let's not do that. That's huge. Yeah, okay, it came up. So we're going to create a folder in here. Someday. One of the things I need to do is to get Charlie. The brittle plastics of the printer shattered instantly as this word smashed against its defenseless chassis. So we're going to call this Adventure. Still trying to learn how to type with these stupid braces on. Adventure Demo. This folder is empty. Okay, so we're going to copy it over there. And we're going to go ahead and run the exe. What the heck? I don't care. Why didn't it load? Okay, so obviously there's something wrong with it auto-magically loading. You just drag the drive image over. I don't know if you guys can hear the audio from the game. Do you hear any music playing? So I'm not sure what my settings are for that. Whoa! Turn the monitor off, Eric. Monitor off for desktop audio. Monitor off. Monitor off. Monitor off. I'm turning the monitor off on all of the audio. Let's try that again. So I turned on desktop audio. Quit. Hang on a second here. Shut down. Yeah, I have to figure out why it's not grabbing the boot drive. Of course, it worked when I tried it the first time. Okay. Can you guys hear that? Oh, it got loud really quick. Yeah, that was because I had feedback loop going. Okay, you can hear it very low. Okay, so let's go on. It's not really that critical. You can control whether it plays the intro music or not, and all that with the game settings. So about in settings and config, you can turn off playing the intro, outro, and showing the credits. Oh, you can barely hear me. Great. Why? The mic should be okay. It was because I wasn't facing the mic. That might be it. Can you hear me now? Should be able to hear me okay. I don't know. We're going to go ahead and continue. Now you can hear me without the music playing. It probably levels between the two inputs. I don't know why. So, alright. So when it's playing, I just won't talk. The music was a bit loud. Okay, let me go tweak the desktop setting. Desktop audio. Yeah, it's set at 150%. We'll drop it down to 100. Anyway, the music for the game, the intro, outro music was a contribution to the game. Eric Rangel wanted to contribute, so he had some people he knows that work on game music and stuff like that. Worked on some other title, I don't remember what it was. They asked me for a description of what I was doing and came up with the sound track. I really like it. They offered to tweak it if I had suggestions or anything or wanted something different. I'm like, no, it's perfect. So it's kind of got a bit of a Western thing to it. I'm not sure how to describe it. Music's not really my thing. Okay. So anyway, so you can control it here. Go back to the game. And let's open new game. Don't have to, but you know, the Tavern is the game there, so you can do that. There should be a little bit of wind sound in the background. It's very low key. So it opens on a forest trail. I'm just going to read through it. The wind whips at the edges of your cloak, a crimson banner against the bleak gray sky. You move with silent grace, although your boots sink into the muddy trail. I've never read this before out loud. With each laborious step, your sharp and alert cat-like emerald eyes scan the horizon, alert for danger. You've been traveling for months, a journey as solitary as the trail you follow. The wind howls a mournful dirge that echoes... Boy, this really is kind of thick, isn't it? That echoes through the forest landscape. You pause, your gaze fixed on the deep and dark woods. A flicker of fear, a flicker of hope dance in your eyes. You have heard rumors of a hidden city, a place of refuge and renewal, a place where you could finally lay down your burdens and find peace. The path to this sanctuary is fraught with danger. You know that every step brings you deeper into the unknown, to creatures that lurk in the shadows. Yet you press onward, driven by relentless want and desire. No, it's not that kind of a game, Trina. After what seems an eternity of trudging through boots-sucking mud, you see the remains of a campsite to the east of the trail. Siri, you see a green orc. So there are random monsters that crop up. So there's an element of randomness to it. All right, so now from here, there's a couple of ways you could do this. You could do the command menu gives you all of the commands that are pertinent to this current situation. So it picks through what directions you can go. When I first started working on the game, you just had to go north, south, east, or west. I enhanced it so that you could go upstairs if you're at stairs, things like that. So there's an about box. There's a lot of the commands that are in the menu are also commands that you could type in. So you go back has a bug right now. It's not working. It keeps a breadcrumb trail internally of your path where you've been so that you could go back. So you can go to the trail campsite. Let's do that. So now there's a little bit of audio of Shatner. Oh God, I'm gonna have to work on my my voice. Put some more halting in it, then it'll sound more like Shatner. You go on the trail, and you see a green orc. So now you're on the you're at the trail campsite, and I mix in a little bit of mythology and stuff here. So I take a lot of borrow from a lot of things. So Helios begins his descent, casting long shadows upon the ground at your feet. You find an acceptable, sheltered, and protected spot to rest. You kindle a small fire, its warmth a welcome respite from the biting cold. As the flames dance and curl upward, you casting flickering light on the cliff face behind you. You think about the city of the life that awaits you. You close your eyes, a fleeting smile playing on your lips. Tomorrow you will continue the journey, one stop closer to destiny. For now, you will rest. Exposed as you are, your sleep dare not be deep. You are still aware of your surroundings. This skill has served you well, and if you are to survive, will be needed until you reach safety. Siri, you see a wand. So when you go to a location, there are objects, and the game just lists anything that you happen to see. Like the non-playing character, the orc, was there. You notice we didn't do anything with the orc. We just left him there. If I go back to that location, the orc will probably be there. In fact, there's a chance it might generate 2 orcs. So we're gonna. There's several things you can do. You can pick. I think you can pick up wand. Nope, that's not a command. Take wand. Okay, so I take 1 wand. I think, it's take and get. That's right. So now you have a wand. Let's look at our inventory. And that inventory is like list inventory is the long version of it. But you can also just do inventory. I hope you guys can see this. I know it's kind of small screen. Alright, so we have a hooded cloak, a longsword, we have some gold, and a wand. Let's put on the cloak. So, wear cloak. Siri puts the cloak on with the hood over their head. The clasp closes automatically, or automagically, without your touch. The cloak really does make the outfit. And I gained 1 magic by putting on a cloak. Alright, so now if I look at my inventory, you are using a hooded cloak. Alright, so I could use the sword. So I could use sword. Siri tenses their hand on the familiar leather grip of your longsword. In a smooth practice motion, they draw the blade from its scabbard. The metal whispers against the leather as they unsheath it. the weight of the weapon a comforting presence in their hand. Ciri shifts into a fighting stance, legs shoulder-width apart, knees slightly bent, the tip of the long sword held high, point angled outward. Ciri lunges forward with a controlled thrust. Their entire body weight is channeled behind the attack, driving the point of the long sword. Oh, I got a typo. Long sword forward in a practiced deadly strike aimed at air. So I'm using a sword without an opponent. So the air is your opponent at this point. All right. So we're gonna sleep. Unroll your bedroll and settle down to sleep. Hopefully you're not attacked, so you could be attacked while you're sleeping. And if I get up, it takes a turn to get up. And there's no up here for you to take, so getting up doesn't make any sense, but it still gets you up. So, and we can look, and we're still at the trail campsite. Yeah, can I do that? Oh yeah, that's right. Thank you, I forgot about that. So there we go, 2 times size, that's a little better. Okay, so what can we do from here? Let's look at the commands. So I could do this, which is, and see, I wanted 3 dots in there. That's a bug. Call me Eric. Well met, Eric. So now my name is Eric. Look at me. Oops. So it's the description of you. Oh, yeah, I didn't read this description. Your face is framed by a mess of wind-tossed auburn hair, a few strands escaping to curl around your cheekbones. I do try to make the characters androgynous a little bit, so this character could fit whether you're male or female. You wear worn and well cared for leather armor, its oiled surface etched with scars. A crimson cloak, once vibrant but now dulled by dust and travel, hangs loosely from your broad shoulders. You carry a heavy backpack, bulging with possessions, and on your hip a longsword, its hilt worn smooth. The blade gleams with cold promise. Despite the heavy weight, or the obvious weight of your burdens, you move with ease. Your eyes are emerald green, sharp and watchful, not unlike a cat. A faint scent of wood smoke and oiled leather cling to you, a mix that speaks of well-maintained kit and long nights spent camped under the open sky. Your voice, low and husky, contrasts with your rugged and undeniable beauty. Yeah, the prose is a little bit, I'm trying to, channel, what the style, John Carter, the Mars series of books, and what's the other series? Tarzan. That kind of early 20s and 30s kind of prose style for things. So it's a little bit wordy, but yeah, it's just the style I'm going for. So, and then it only scrolls down as far as you can, so that you can still read the top of it, and then you have to scroll down. This is another bug. If you scroll, you'll lose your cursor inside the command box, and if you start typing, it beeps at you. So I need to have it after you scroll, just automatically drop you back into the box. All right. So, and it tracks where you've already visited the forest trail and the campsite. What else can we do here? Let's, so you can drop things. So you could drop, I don't know why, there's no weight restriction on carrying stuff. You can export the dialogue. So if there's a particular thing that you thought was kind of neat and you want to keep track of what was in the text, you can export it. So we can go to the Tavern Yard from here. Help gives you help. Let's go to the Tavern Yard. Okay. Through the trees to the east of the trail, you catch a glimpse of a small stone and wooden building, its windows glowing warmly in the dim light. You quicken your pace, eager to escape the biting cold and find some warmth. As you approach the building, you can hear the sound of laughter and the clinking of glasses. A sense of relief washes over you. It's a tavern, promising a stout beverage, a hot meal, and it's supposed to be warm bed, not arm bed. Above the tavern door hangs a sign with a faded woman in a green dress, and I am not going to try to pronounce that. That's actually Celtic. It's Scottish Gaelic, and it basically means it's a being from Scottish folklore that is a woman in a green dress. Anyway, to the south you see a well. Perhaps you should slake your thirst and clean up a bit before entering the tavern. Image writer owners drink free. You can try. I don't think that's not a Ron Fungible thing that you can use. I should probably have you can trade mushrooms, make that the currency instead of gold. Anyway, to the north you see the tavern's door, to the south you see a well, to the west you see a trail campsite. So it does give you some advice on how to get to different places. So we're going to go. Now you can go to a location. So we're going to go to well. And it's thinking, okay. And it actually scrolled down a little bit. No, it wasn't supposed to do that. As you approach the well, game suggestion idea. Offer a diploma printout when you beat the game. Here's the thing. There is no beating the game. I did not build in something like that, but you do make a point. There are stats that it collects, like how many have you defeated, how many items have you taken, things like that. So I could have a way that it prints out a certificate that shows your accomplishments. And I did want to eventually have a version where you could report your stats up to a scoreboard that's online so that everybody can see how you're doing in it. So that'll be a future version. It's more of a tour through locations at this point than it is a well-defined goal for the game. I guess the goal is to survive and not die, because you can die. And visit every location. How would you know if you visited every location? There's a map. And it's dynamically driven. And it actually will... it shows things when you visit them. And you can put notes in about the location. And it's got the description for it. It tells you what's there at that location and what items are available. So if we go back to the game, I added this later, notes. So I could say, you know, wow. Can't type. Much mud. In the trail campsite, you could say, nice, safe place if you like orcs. In Tavern Yard, yay! You notice there's no save button or anything because it automatically saves for you. Replace this text with notes about the location. It's water. So it just saves your notes. And in the game you can say show note yard. Nope, that isn't it. Show notes. Maybe I didn't add that command yet. Oh, okay. There's something that I don't have implemented yet. I thought I did. There's a way to show the location notes. So I'll have to figure that one out. Or you can just go to the notes and look at them. So, wow, much mud. Alright, so there is a dead orc and a green orc. And let's attack green, whoops, green with sword. Okay, the orc is throwing an axe at me, and it attacked me and it failed. It looks like, let's see, I lunged forward. Okay, I was successful in striking the orc, and then the orc tried to attack me and it failed. And then it shows you the health stats for the orc and you. And then I've got a description of it, attacking me. And it failed again. So let's attack. You just hit enter twice and it'll repeat the last command. I've killed the green orc. Now, look at green. So you can abbreviate names of things. Right now it's frantically reading the database and looking for the description and building it. And why is it taking so long to do this? It shouldn't. There it goes. You see a dead green orc. You lean forward to examine the orc more closely. The deep plum and olive tones of its skin fade to a golden copper with patches of crisp yellows and browns. The skin is now painted like leaves of maple and oak, as if preparing for a winter slumber. Alas, this orc will not be reviving in the spring. Oh, look, they have a hooded cloak, a throwing axe, gold, and an enchanted battle axe. Ooh. So we're going to loot green. Now, why am I saying green instead of orc? There's another dead orc, and the game can't figure out which orc you're talking about. So it picks one. So you want to make sure you use a unique part of the name. So I took his stuff. Let's look at the dead orc. It's almost like I was there. I can almost smell the orc. I am trying to be descriptive. Okay, they've got a battle axe, a long sword, a poison-tipped dagger, a throwing axe, and gold. So we're going to loot them too. Loot orc. Now if I look at my inventory, I got lots of stuff. And a poison-tipped dagger. Okay. And I'm using a cloak and the longsword. So we're going to put, if we can type, put away the sword. The immediate danger seems to have passed. With a deep breath, Eric slowly and deliberately sheaths the deadly blade with a satisfying snick of the metal sliding back into its scabbard. Now, I do have a lot of sound effects and things like that, but to reduce the size of the demo game, it's only got a few audio bits in it because that, frankly, is what takes up most of the space, is all the audio files. Okay, so here we are. What do we want to do? Let's go north. So we're back at the Tavern Yard, and we're going to go to door. Now we're at the entrance of the tavern. Now originally, when I wrote this, you had to go north through the door instead of opening the door, which is why I changed the command structure a little bit so that each location, and the door is a location in the game, has different actions you can take, and I can list a whole bunch of them in there. So I could open door, go through door. I didn't say wreck door or anything like that, but you could, right, to open it and go through it. So open door. Okay, you should be hearing some background music now. It's a jaunty little tune. A resource I had no idea existed. There's this gentleman that has produced thousands of bits of music and stuff like that, and offers them for free, royalty free. And this is one of the tunes that he has in his collection of stuff. I guess he's been featured in some documentaries and movies too. I don't recall who he is. I am going to credit him in the game, even though you don't need to, because what a contribution. I guess a lot of single game developer studios, you know, where it's just me, myself, and I working on games, use this stuff. So this reminds me a lot of a Renaissance Festival tune that you would hear. So, okay, so the tavern is warm and inviting, filled with the smell of roasting meat and ale. You are greeted by music and a roaring fire crackling in the hearth ahead, the embers casting a warm glow over the room. To the left, sturdy wooden tables sprawl invitingly, some occupied by groups engrossed in conversation or games of chance. To the right, a wooden bar, polished and worn, stretches along the side of the room. A line of patrons stand chatting with a burly barkeep who expertly tops mugs of ale with practiced names. In the far corner, partially obstructed by the bar, a narrow wooden staircase winds its way upwards, hinting at depths above. The inviting smell of food wafts from the direction of the bar, enticing you forward. Behind you is the tavern door. So you could go outside again if you wanted to, but let's visit the bar. So go to bar. It's hard to touch type with these things. I don't know if you can see that. Anyway. Blah, blah, blah. You take an open seat at the end of the bar, out of sight of the doorway, with a clear view of the tavern. The barkeep, recognizing your need for a safe viewpoint, nods a silent greeting and waits for your cue, giving you time and space. You give him a nod, beckoning him. Eric, you see Old Thomas. Old Thomas. So some of the NPCs will just randomly do dialogue, or not. depending on a throw of the dice. So I threw a bunch of Scottish Celtic in here, Gaelic, I mean. So I'm not going to try to pronounce that. Says the barkeep. Seeing you are not familiar with his native language and switches easily into the common tongue, I've got to work on that. That's not quite right. Good afternoon. How are you? He says with a jovial wink while cleaning a mug. I am well enough, thank you, you say in quiet response. So the dialogue system in this is a really simple. You can't actually have you as the character don't really speak. So in the responses or the dialogue for the character, I actually threw in text for what you would say. In the next version of this, because I do plan on doing a next version, I'm going to switch the goofy text-based database that I'm doing with SQL. I wrote a SQL engine, so I'm going to use that. It's still text-based underneath, but I'll be able to do table joins and things like that. It'll be a lot easier to write the code. Excuse me. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to inject HyperTalk code into the dialogue and create an engine so that you have a dialogue box that pops up like you do in a lot of games where you can select what your response is, and have a conversation tree so that you could influence the game with how you go in the conversation. Maybe your reputation would be influenced or something like that, or you could gain skills or something from dialogue, that kind of stuff. So right now it's a very simple engine. So let's talk to old. So talk to Thomas. Yes, I can accommodate ye. Thomas replies with a smile. You think of a nice warm bed and a full belly. How does 4 gold sound? Buy a bowl of gruel and an ale, and I'll toss in a room for the night. You find this more than fair, depending upon the quality of the food and bed. You decide the prospect of sleeping in a local bothy. You guys know what a bothy is? Anyway. Or back on the trail isn't desirable. Very fair, you reply. So, because it doesn't have that engine where you can say, yes, that's fair, or no, I'll go sleep in the bothy. Trina's streaming in 10 minutes. So, we're going to wrap this up here so that I don't infringe on Trina's time. Thank you for reminding me, Trina. Anyway, so that gives you an idea of how to start. And you can buy. So we'll just cover buy ale from Thomas. And it'll say, alas, I can't accept such a pittance for such a lovely mug of ale. You'll need 2 gold. So if we repeat the command, for 2 gold, you can buy an ale, and then just like anything else, you can look at ale. It's a hefty mug of ale, sweating with condensation, a cool relief in your palm as you cradle it, a rich yeasty aroma, blah blah blah. You can also buy stout. Drink ale. So you gain some health, and you take a tentative sip, letting the ale wash over your tongue. Yada, yada, yada. I spun it up a few days ago, but April is going to have more time for me to explore it. Great, thank you. Yeah, Veronica, it's available to download the demo version. There's links in your Discord for going to it. There are some bugs, and I'm working on them, and I'll be updating the demo, but it is playable. So if you wanna poke around with it, it's in the promotion section of your Discord. It's also in the Macintosh Friends Discord under self promotion. Yeah, the over the top prose. Yeah, I tried as best I could to still make it readable, but I do want to challenge, younger players might need to bust out a dictionary or ask. You can figure out from context what everything is saying, but still, yeah, I really did want to overdo it with the prose. I mean, it's a text adventure game. You have to do text. So, all right, we still have a few minutes here, so I'm gonna get a bowl of Gru. So I'll buy Gru from Thomas for, I think it's 2 gold. Okay, look at Gru, and it's a bocanad. If you guys have ever watched the channel, what is it? Cooking History or Eating History or something like that. I can't remember the dude's channel name, but it's really good. He describes a bocanad. It's a medieval dish of beef, basically, or whatever meat that you have. So I kind of take some of the ingredients and stuff from that. If you might recognize Gru as being a particular nasty monster from Zork, I think. So to give you a hint, you run into a Gru. You may be eaten by a Gru. So let's see. Eat Gru. And the engine, desperately running HyperTalk, is trying to figure out what to say. So again, bit descriptive, but you do gain some health and strength and stamina and magic from it. All right, so that's the game so far. You were exploded by a Rifa. So there are some Easter eggs in here. I'm not going to mention them, but if you look up Homestar Runner, or if you think of Homestar Runner, one of those is in there that specifically references text adventure games. There's also certain magical phrase that you can use that's not documented, things like that. Color classic and native recapping suddenly appears before you. There is the mythical and mystic Mackie. How Mackie is able to function after all these years is quite interesting. So, and then there's also in the full game, there is a librarian. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. So, I'm going to wrap it up here so that Trina can get started. I want to thank everybody for joining. It's been quite a long time since I live streamed, and I kind of miss it. But I'm really trying to bust out a game here, and believe me, I'm pushing the limits of HyperCard quite a bit. There's 5 stacks just for code. I'm using 5 or 6 different external commands, for handling things. It's just it was a lot of work and a lot of fun doing it, and I still got a lot of work to do. I gotta design a box. I've gotta do the 200-page game editor manual so that you can build your own games with it. I got bugs I gotta fix. I want the box set to be something that's, kind of neat like these are. Let me switch cameras back. So, sorry. can't see my monitor to see whether I switched the camera back or not because there I am. Okay. So, I got to figure out what kind of a box I'm going to do. I got to prototype it and see if it works. I need to print the manuals and bind them. I'm thinking about doing, I don't know, at least 50 units for VCF. So I've got boxes at the table to sell. Got to do a giveaway. There's a bunch of stuff to do. All right. If you want to contribute to the game, go to my coffee. No obligation, but if you do, you'll even $1, you'll get a call out in the as a contributor to the game, both in the manual and in the game itself. In fact, let's do a quit here so it can go through the. Well, let's use the exit command. Exit. Okay. So in the credits, the music, Quack of Dawn theme song by Elysian Studios. So those are the two gentlemen that created that. Got to talk to Ron about this because I do want to incorporate some special audio effects by Ron. And then, you've got the contributors, Kate and Eric and seat safety switch and Billgoats and people that have contributed to it. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. And then of course malted barley from Scotland. We all know what that creates. And Bill Atkinson for creating HyperCard. And then there's the copyright and warranty information and stuff like that. Another bug. It's supposed to be playing music right now for the outro and it's not. So I got to figure that one out. Anyway. Thank you guys for joining. And you can't see the screen because I'm not displaying that. Where's the desktop? There we go. Anyway, it's going through the credits. This is a habit of mine, not monitoring what I'm doing so I don't know what I'm doing. How do you guys deal with that? I guess you have to have Discord up. Or not Discord, OBS up on a monitor so you can see what you're doing. I need to do that. Anyway, thanks for joining. See you guys. Gonna play the outro. Have a lot of fun. See you next weekend, probably. Maybe. I don't know. Where's the outro?